Alright, today on this 2013 Ford Edge, we're going to install part number C56120. This is a CURT T-connector vehicle wiring harness. Okay, first thing we need to do is get the vehicle ready to install the harness. To do that, we're going to go ahead and open up the back hatch and remove the two taillights. There'll be two screws in each taillight that we have to remove. We use an 8mm socket to do this. Then we'll go ahead and pull the taillight straight back. You can see the connection points where it snaps in towards the front. Then we need to go ahead and remove the wire harness from the taillight. To do that, we'll go ahead and push down a small tab on the connector and then pull it apart. We'll repeat this on the other side. With both taillights removed, we'll go ahead and move our way into the interior. We'll remove all our floor coverings to get down to the spare tire. Then we have to remove the threshold. Using a simple trim panel tool, we'll gently pry up the threshold till it pops loose. We'll go ahead and set it to the side, and then the pockets that are next to the spare tire can be easily removed. Now we need to go ahead and loosen up the interior panels. To start off with that, we'll go ahead and remove two plastic rivets at the bottom of the panel. Then there's a tie-down point towards the top that we'll remove as well. Then with steady pressure, we can go ahead and pull back on the panel to pull it away from the inside of the vehicle. That way we have easier access to run our wires. Now we'll go ahead and take our grommet and get it ready. We'll pull out the grommet behind the taillight. Then we'll go ahead and make a cut in it so we can run some wires through. Okay, we're done for driver's side. We'll go ahead and repeat the same process over on the passenger side. Now we can go ahead and start installing the wire harness. To begin work with the wire harness, we'll start with the T-connector with the yellow wire. We're going to route that up to the driver's side, behind the panel, and out the hole where the grommet is. And we'll go ahead and pull it through, and then connect it to our wire harness at the end. We'll put the wire inside the grommet that we made the slot for, and then reinstall the grommet. The other end of the T-connector will go to the taillight. Now we'll work with the T-connector with the green wire and route that over to the passenger side. Well, basically, we'll repeat the same process. Now we need to route our 4-pole to the outside. So there's a grommet by a spare tire that we'll go ahead and remove. We'll make a cut in it so we can install the 4-pole. We'll go ahead and poke it through, and then underneath the bodywork. This will come out right behind the hitch, but above the heat shields underneath. Next, we'll go ahead and deal for power wire if it needs to be ran up to the battery. We'll go ahead and take a yellow butt connector that comes with the kit and our long piece of wire and connect it to the black wire that's on the module. Okay, once we make our connection, we'll go ahead and run through a second grommet that's further up towards the front. This way we don't have to worry about routing it around the rear suspension. We'll poke a hole in it and then push the wire through. Then we'll go underneath and take up all our slack. With the slack taken up, we'll go back inside the vehicle. We'll pull back the wire that we need to work inside with. Next, we'll go ahead and take our white wire at the ring terminal and ground to the sheet metal. It's a good idea to, if you can, to ground this to some sheet metal that's overlapping so it has more material for a screw to go into. Now we can go ahead and mount the module. We'll take the adhesive that comes with the kit and apply it to the module, and then we'll attach it to some clean sheet metal behind the interior panel on the driver's side. So we'll continue on with our black wire and run it to the battery. Now when we run it up there, we'll go ahead and make sure we stay away from anything moving like suspension components or anything hot like the exhaust. Then we just pushed up our excess into the engine compartment. Once we have our wires pulled out, we'll go ahead and run it out to our power supply. In this case, we deposit this terminal of the battery. We'll run to the battery and then cut off our excess. Then add our fuse holder. One end of the fuse holder will get the butt connector that'll connect to the black wire. And the other end will get the ring terminal. Once our connections are made, we'll connect it to the battery. Once we're connected to the battery, we'll go ahead and install our fuse into the fuse holder. We'll go ahead and reinstall our panels and our wiring in reverse order we took them out. Okay, with everything installed, we'll go underneath the vehicle and zip tie our wires underneath for a 4-pole. We'll also use a piece of lube material to make the wiring match the hitch. We'll be using part number 459075-1. We'll go ahead and test our wire harness before we try it on our trailer. We'll take our ground and connect it to the white wire. Then we'll check the brown wire for a running light circuit, yellow for a left turn, and green for a right turn. And our brake signal will be a constant signal on our green and yellow wires. With everything working and back together, that'll finish it for our install part number C56120 from CURT on our 2013 Ford Edge.